So I'm on Trace. And we're going to walk around the barn first. Okay, so I was going to take Trace out, though this was his first time out this week, out on the trail, and I got on out there and he was just being a little goofy. And when I lunged him beforehand in here, something on the side scared him and he was being a little bit goofy. So he did something twice and I was like, you know what, I'm not going out on trail. Maybe later if we do okay in the arena. So I'm in the arena. He's spooky over here on the right side. There's a weird noise sometimes that bothers some of the horses. I don't even know what it is, but he got his panties all bunched up. So what I want you to see is just, you know, that he's going to do stuff and how I'm going to ride it out. So when he's throwing his head or acting like he don't want to do something, I'm just sliding the bit. When he puts his head down too far, I'm lifting it up. And I'm not being too nice about it because he's distracted today, so that tells me I need to be focused. Okay? And I wanted to get him moving because I want to get some of this energy out. See, now he's stuck. So I don't care if he doesn't want to go over there. Just keep moving. So now we're side passing. Now he's pulling. So I pulled right. And now we'll just continue. So I'm not going to make a big deal of it. We're going to flat walk. We'll try to go by it again. And then if he won't go over there, it's all right. We'll just avoid the area and then I'll rest over there when it's time to rest. So I got my left leg in him and my left rein against him. He's still trying to avoid it. And that's okay. Remember, they sometimes see and hear stuff we don't. So we'll just try to get him by it and see how it goes. A lot of times he'll look at stuff and then he's fine, but for some reason he really doesn't like what's over there. And that's the area again that it's not just him. A lot of horses at different times, you know, something's probably going on because they all get upset over there a little bit. Okay, so my main thing is just to try to keep him at a flat walk, try to keep him focused. And if he cuts that turn, well, so he cuts that turn. And you try to keep their head up if you can. Okay, now we're closer than we got the last time, didn't we? That's all right, I don't care. Let's just keep going, Trace. So now I'm going to try a little circle over here. See if we'll do that. But see, he immediately focuses on the stuff on the other side. There's gravel over there. That's not new, but maybe the way the sun's hitting it, it looks weird to him. Who knows? Sometimes you just never know. You just try to work through what you can. Okay? But this is much better than he was just doing like a couple minutes ago. So we're going to make our circles and do our stuff just to our best of our ability and expect as we keep going around, it'll get better. But if you start out and they're being goofballs and you're like, I'm just going to go out on the trail today. You're like, well, if anything in your mind goes, you know what, he's acting like an idiot today. Don't go. Don't do it. Just go do something else instead, or go around, pin them again, and, you know, get on and see if they're better. Sometimes it's just not the right day to go. And you know it. People will talk you into it, and that's when you know, sometimes get hurt. So if you're not feeling it, remember, there's another day. Just pick another day to go. Okay. So all I'm trying to do is keep him at the flat walk. Now he's a little bit more focused. I'm still going to try to go straight here, which I've tried to do every time. Now he's cutting the turn. Okay. So I tried to make it. He didn't go. That's all right. And again, if they feel like they're not going to do anything, I might stop and let them look. But he feels like he's being a little bit of a goofball, so I'm not going to give him that opportunity. I'm going to keep his head up. And it could be this is all muddy. This was not muddy before. So that's something different. Let's make another circle. So remember, you always come with a plan. Like my plan was, let's go up the hill today. And now my plan is, let's go around the arena. Plans change depending on the horse's energy and what they're doing. Now that's a little bit better. Now, he just got goofy like at the mounting block, and there's no reason. He is in a different stall. He rubbed off part of his mane, so I moved him. And he's got some goats behind him, so maybe that's got him a little upset. You just never know. Okay, so now let's try another circle over here. Closer, but no cigar. No, but we're in more of the muddy area. Good job, buddy. Remember, young horses, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Sometimes you're going to have good weeks, and sometimes you're going to have bad weeks. That's just what they are. You just got to keep working through it till you get that nice horse, and that takes many, many years to get there. Now we got shadows. He feels a little bit better, like he might do it, and we'll see. He's starting to cut, so now he's not going to do it. Now he's calmer, so I'm going to let him take a look, but he was not calm in the beginning, so I was going to stop in the beginning because he was dancing around, throwing his head, and I just wasn't sure what he was going to do. And there's a guy over there with the chickens that I can see. But again, he's behind the trees, and you know, horses are like, is that guy gonna kill us? Now the guy just went into the shed. So I saw that. Now, the nice thing is, I saw how fast Trace here can side pass. So no more slow side passing. If he can do it that fast when he's scared, then I know he can be a lot quicker with the things I'm teaching him. Okay? So we want to try and work on get rid of some of his energy, get him back to thinking and not reacting to things. But you know, sometimes you've had a bad night and you're just kind of jumpy. The next day the horse can be like that too. Okay, so let's go across the diagonal. Because I don't want to stop at all now. I just want to keep him moving. And we're going to go try and go by that area the other way. Sometimes they'll pass it one way and sometimes they won't, so he got a little bit closer to it. When you're having issues, you know, you might be trying to work on your gaits, but it's more important to fix the behavior part and get through that. And you can't worry about, is he flat walking here, what's he doing? But just as you see, even though, you know, I ride these horses all the time and he's getting worked, today he's not being very good. Let's see. He's not horrible either, don't get me wrong. And I ran him around pretty good, and I lunged him because I just had the inkling because he was spooking on the ground when he was doing the other stuff. So don't ever feel bad or like you failed if you horse is being bad and you need to get off, you get off and go ahead and lunge them or take them over that scary spot and do the sending exercise until they're quieted down. You know, you can always work them from the ground. You do not need to be on their back. Lots of the young trainers forget as we get older our balance isn't as good and they try to make you stay up there and then you just fall off. So take it from an older trainer. That's not a good idea. You don't ride like we did when we were 20. So those of you who are saying, you know, stay on, don't do this, don't do that, well, you've either never taken a really bad fall and gotten hurt, or you're young, right? Because I've seen lots of people go, oh, I can ride anything, and I'm like, well, good for you, that's great. The rest of us want to just stay alive, so we're not going to take that risk. But you go ahead, it's fine with us. So again, no, don't let anybody talk you into stuff. You do what you're comfortable with. Doesn't matter if it takes 10 years to get there or a year. It's your journey. You make it how you want it. Okay, so now we're going to try to go back down to this end and circle again. Now his head's getting lower, so I know he's getting more comfortable because that's what he does when he's comfortable. He wants to carry it low. Now he's going very slow by this spot instead of going fast. That's okay. There he took like one step a little faster forward, so something must have caught his eye. Now he keeps going in between the flat walk and the foxtrot, but I'm more concerned with just getting him around the arena. Okay, so we're going to give him something a little new to do to try to distract him. And we're going to work a little bit on a shoulder in. I like doing shoulder ins because they can help your horse's gait. And all I do is I turn slightly to the inside. I have a video on this too. I look at the opposite corner, turn my shoulders that way, push the horse a little bit off with the outside leg, and then I use my inside leg to go forward. Now he hasn't done this before, so he's like, what the heck? And I got after him. I said, I want to do this at the flat walk with you because you're not paying attention. If I go too slow, he's not going to pay any attention. So let's get the energy out and give him jobs to do to try to get him focused. So now we're up at another corner. I turn my shoulders, turn his shoulders, and then press him forward with my inside leg or my right leg. Now this horse kind of messes around with his head when he's doing stuff. A horse over there just freaked out and he jumped forward. He got light in the front end, but it wasn't really rear. So now we'll just go back to working. So as the spook goes, that wasn't too bad. But again, if I hadn't worked him, he's just jumpy today and he would have been a lot jumpier. So now I'm getting after him because he's like, what's over there? And I said, don't worry about what's over there. You should just mind your own business. But he's so focused on what's going on with everything else. So now I changed my mind. I'm going to go forward. That's foxtrot. And we'll go back to the shoulder in. So I've given him no break so far because when I give him a break, I'm going to stand him right where he's spooking. But you want to try and get that energy out and go forward. Okay, Alright, so we made it by here, but he keeps spooking. So this is a little bit kind of like the sending exercise or rollbacks. And I keep turning towards the scary object. I don't want it behind him. So I'm going to back up and turn. And I did this because he keeps screwing around. And I just want him to see, like, you screw around, we'll just give you more stuff to do. Now, sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Okay, let's go back to work. So it's good to have a toolbox. It's good to make sure your horse, knows how to back up and do a turn on the haunches. So if you need to do a rollback, where better to do a rollback than where a horse is spooking, because they'll naturally rock back on their hocks. So now we'll see what he does. And in the end, he's just making more work for himself, but he doesn't know that. So here we come. This is the spot. Now I just gave him a bump with my leg, like, hey, don't be a goofball there. And that's hard, if you're a nervous person, because the young horses can do stuff like this. And you got to be able to, tell them, hey, don't do that. Just like your parent, hey, you can't do that. You're not going to get any allowance. You're going to take your iPhone away. And you can't, go out with your friends now. But if you don't keep them in check, they can take over. So he easily could be spooking over and over down here if I didn't get after him. But you see, I kept moving. Then when he was being a goofball, I gave him more jobs to do. Like, oh, you got so much energy? How about this instead? Now here he just cut that turn, but that wasn't that bad. And you might see his neck's all sweaty because I haven't stopped moving yet. We gave you one little break to look. So he's much spookier this direction. So it may be the shadows and the things that are over there, but we're out on the trail or in the show ring. Sometimes we just got to go buy stuff we're scared of. You can't be goofing around. Whoa. Okay. So now we're going to turn. We're going to do our turn on the forehand. I'm going to kind of let him look. And then we're going to go to our saddle gate. There's no better time to go to a saddle gate than when the horse is being a little scared, right? Because if they scoot, it usually helps you get their gait. Alright, so I'm going to speed him up. I'm going to lift his head up, sit back. He's like, I'm not doing it. Like, really? I just saw you run sideways before. Now he's trying to canter. There we go. Now he's being a goofball. He's throwing his head. He tried to throw his head down. I just yanked it back. If they have enough energy to screw around, they have enough energy to do what they want. Right? This is a little bit of a hard ride. He's all over the place, isn't he, today? That's better. He's like, wow, he's not messing around today. Usually I don't go around that many times, but I am today. again, I just make that noise to try to make him shoot forward a little bit. Okay, now we're going to stop again. Okay, so he's much more tired now. And we're going to sit here for a minute, and then we're going to do our saddle rack the other way. Now you see my reins are longer now because he's calmer. But I'm still not going to let my guard down. I'm still sitting back in case he, something scared him and he went flying sideways or leaping or something. But now what I'm trying to do is associate the spooky thing with rest. Like, I know it scared you, but actually you get your air over here. So do you want some air? Because if you don't, if he kept moving around like I'm not standing over there, I'd just go back to work. I'm like, no big deal. Okay, let's just go back to work then. And we'll try it after we go around the other way. Okay, but sometimes just doing that and resting the horse where they're scared gets them over it. Okay, now we're going to go the other way. Now I know his brain's a little better because I just did a turn on the forehand and he did it actually quite well, which he wouldn't do it very well at all before when I asked him. Okay, now he's acting like he doesn't want to move, so here we go. I'm going to squeeze. He don't want to go, so I'm starting to tap with my stick. Now we're going to speed right up. So if you watch his other videos, you'll see he tested me some in the beginning, and that was his test now. He's like, I'm going to go slow and see what she does. He didn't do anything horrible, but I could feel like this is a test. He's seeing if I'm going to make him go. So look, that area he was so scared of, now he's going by just fine. Now that doesn't always happen, but that's why we try to work through it. So you gotta know which days you can let them look at it, which days you just better pass it and keep their head kind of turned the other way, and which days you need to sit in here and work on it. Sorry for all the clucking. I'm trying to warn him with my cluck or kiss before I tap him with the stick instead of just tapping him, but I know it gets annoying. So if he gets a little bumpy while I'm doing this saddle gait, I just bring his head up, I try to lean back more to get my weight back, and I kind of nudge him with my leg and then that stick. It's like, holy cow, she's turned into a snake. That's us. Sorry I don't have it on the other camera today, but I expected to go out on the trail. Okay, so he's getting tired, so we're going to go over there. Because he's falling out of this gate and he's getting a little trotty. So I'm going to, when I get up here, I'm going to stop. But we're riding the whole way till we get there. Now he's smoother. Oh, there we go. And it falls in there. So he's trying to get a horse in the round pen who's scared of the round pen. Now this horse, I've gotten him over by this stuff and he's not scared anymore, and I don't want him to get scared of the quarter horse if he's having an issue. So now we're going to try and go out on the trail. Come on. Because I just worked him through this whole situation, and I don't want him to be like, why is that horse scared? Because then it can start the whole thing over again if they watch each other. And an example of this is our horses were fine loaded in the trailer, and one day we trailered out and I had to help these random people that were having major problems getting the horse in the trailer. So I got the horses in the trailer for him, and they went out of there, and I said to my friend that was with me, you know, our horses are fine? And she goes, yeah, they load up great. And I go, they won't now, because they just watched that whole scenario, and they're going to think something's going to happen when they get in that trailer, because they had to watch me get after that horse, because I had to, just help them and get on their way. So now we're going to try and go out on the trail. And that's exactly what happened. We went to load the horses up and they're like, no, no, no. And I told my friend, don't worry about it. I'm just going to work it through nice and easy. And, you know, we'll reward them for getting in. We're going to take our time so they can see nothing's going wrong. But I said, they saw me loading that horse, so, you know, they think I'm going to do something to them. So horses watch. They watch people. They watch the other animals. And they pick a lot of things up. So that's why sometimes, you know, you go out on the trail and your horse is fine. Yeah, he's spooking the squirrels. And, you know, you go out and you ride with people and you're like, my horse is great on the trail. And then you go out with somebody who has an antsy horse that's kind of chaotic. Either the rider is or the horse is chaotic and they're all over the place doing crazy stuff. And all of a sudden your horse turns into a nut job because it feeds off of them. You know, they don't like that nervous, scared energy and they start feeding off of it. And people go, what's the answer? And I go, well, try to get that person not to ride with you anymore. And get them to work on their horse, and then when they're better they can ride with you. But some horses feed off of those situations, and then other horses just don't care. They got lots of experience and they're like, oh, that guy's a goofball, who cares? But especially the young ones, you're gonna have a great young one, they feed off of something like that. If they see something bad happen, or you know, that other horse gives them that bad energy, and the people are like, what's wrong with your horse? Like, nothing, it's your horse. You're the one setting it off. So, but people don't realize that. It's just like hanging out, you know, your kids hanging out with big, bad kids. You don't want them to pick up those bad habits, so find someone else to ride with, or see if that person will get help and get their horse better before you ride with them again. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if the spooky horse is in front or in back. So if you spooky horse is in front, you got a young horse following it, that horse keeps spooking, your horse is going to keep spooking. If it's behind you spooking, that can do the same thing. It can still make your horse nervous, okay? So you got to be careful of the situations. And he just tripped that. No big deal. He's pretty sure-footed, and he's tired now because we ran him all around, and then we did all that work, and now I'm still going to do what I wanted to do in the beginning. Okay? And this is where that little gully comes out this direction, so we'll see if he goes in it. And then we're going to try and go up the hill, which is going to take some energy to get up there. Good boy. Look at that, he went right in the gully. He's like, can I be done, please? Nope. Not today. So I expect that he's going to stop and look, and I'm going to have to push him. He's already seen this scarecrow. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Let's go. So, let him look at it for a second. Now, when those things get behind you, of course, your horse can jump forward. Now, I want to go out with a little energy, because that'll help me get by some of these things. And it'll help us get up this hill, which is a little bit hard. It looks like nothing. It never looks like anything on camera, but it's hard. I've walked it. Now hear him smelling. He's like, I have to go out here by myself. He's like, is it safe? I'm like, yeah, it's safe. Just keep going. So sometimes you gotta push your young ones if you're going alone. You gotta be the one who's in charge. And you see I'm going like this because I'm doing that so I don't pull back on them. I don't want to pull back to steer them right now. I just want to pull out because I need that energy to go forward. Now somebody's over on the right with an ATV, so I know they might be in these bushes somewhere and we won't be able to see them. And my idea is to take him out here, get him up this hill, which we're almost up, and then his reward is I'm going to be get off. I'm not going to go on a trail ride. I'm just going to take him up here and then maybe graze him and hang out, walk a little bit, and then go back. So I'm making this easy and the arena hard. So we got some step ups, so let's see how he does with those. But again, we prepared him by having him go over those poles. So this is a step up right here. So he hit it, but he didn't trip. That one he tripped a little. Again, if a horse is not used to this, that's normal. Trace is like, holy crap, I can't wait to go home. So he has not been up here. I walked him part way, I think, up the hill, and then I got tired. So I'm just trying to get him up to where the flat open part is so we can hang out for a little bit before we go back. Now he's going to the bathroom, so we'll be nice. Now again, when they turn their head like this, you got to be careful. Like, are they turning back towards home, or are they just looking around? So I let them always turn their head, and then if they start turning, I get after them. But I give them the benefit of the doubt the first time. So this is the skinny track. This is why I wanted him in the gully. Look how slow he's going. He's like, oh my God, this is a big gully. So perfect. Good job, buddy. But if I came out and did this first with the way he was acting, this could have been all bad. So preparation is your key. And feeling where the horse is that day. Is this going to go well? Can I handle it? Am I a good enough rider? And is my horse prepared enough for this task at hand? I can tell you most of the time the horses are not prepared enough. So here's another little kind of gully thing with the sides raised, which can make a lot of them trip. They're almost there. And there we go. Now we're to the big open part. So that's our plan today. So we're just going to walk around a little bit up here. I'm going to get off and we'll see if we find some grass, and then we're going to hand walk them back down. But overall, he did really well for being a goofball when we started. And just know, some of you can ride that out and help the horse. Some of you can't. You either got to do another day or get someone to help you if they keep doing stuff like that. But you can see they can be very bad and end up very good if you do it right. So we're going to go down a step down, and I'm doing this with me on the ground so you can watch him. You want to go home or not? He's like, no, I don't want to go home. So boy, so see, he did that very well. Let's see if we can get him to do the other ones without me falling, because I'm riding backwards, walking backwards. Come on. Good boy. Whoa. It's helpful. He knows how to stop now for me wiggling this. Come on. Good boy. So see, he's naturally kind of sure-footed, so that's not a big deal, where some horses can't get down those things very well at all, and people think something's wrong with them, and I'm like, no, they're just not agile and they don't know how to do it. He naturally figures his body out and how to do it, so it's easy for him. Okay, but he did everything well, and you can see he'll walk behind me on the way home. And this is that benefit of making sure your horse walks well at home, and you teach them the cues, so when you're walking them out here, if they start being bad or getting in your space, you can do something about it. Okay. All right. Hope that helps.